Hey guys, welcome back to another free talk video tutorial. This time we're gonna be practicing the topics in book 4, unit number 12, which is about describing your ideal job and the best way to go about choosing a career and describing what your life will be like in, 5 years time, in 10 years time. What your life will be like, what you will be doing, what you will have done in 5 or 10 years, etc. So remember to use all of the vocabularies and the conversation strategies that we learn in Unit 12 to communicate effectively, okay? Remember to listen to the questions carefully and try to answer the questions the best you can. If you make any mistake, don't worry, okay? Just keep going, keep moving, and do your best and enjoy. That's the best part. Enjoy communicating and answering the questions, okay? So the first question is gonna be, what's the best way to go about choosing a career? Well, that's an interesting question, and I think that the best thing to go about choosing a career is first of all, you need to be clear on your likes and your interests. You need to be sure what you like doing, what you enjoy doing, and then the next thing to do is do some research on which universities in your area or in your city or in your country are offering a major that meets your needs and your likes. So another thing you can do is ask people who are already studying on this field. For example, if you enjoy teaching, then you can talk to those friends of yours who are already into teaching, or maybe a neighbor or a family member or a relative who is already studying in that field, so you can get a feedback and ultimately decide or made up your mind whether you want to study that or not. Some universities, they post details, explanation on what major they are offering in some specialized magazines. Even in the newspaper you can find a lot of information, and then you can gather all of this information to make a more accurate decision on what career to choose. So I think those are some great ideas to go about choosing the best career, so you end up doing something you like, and at the same time something that's going to be profitable for you, something that's going to help you make some money, some good money. But the most important thing for me is to choose a career that you enjoy, something that you feel you're good at, something that you can do at ease, alright? Something you really enjoy doing. How about your career? How did you go about choosing your career? Well, that's a pretty long question, especially because at first I didn't know what to do with my life. I went through 3 different majors until I finally landed on teaching. I remember that when I graduated from college, from high school, I had no idea what to do with my life. I wanted to enroll in the army, and I couldn't because I had a problem with my eyes. I'm a little short-sighted, so I couldn't enroll in the army. Then I went to study computer analysis, something like that, and I didn't succeed. I realized I didn't really like working with computers. Then I went to tourism, and I finished my first a 2-year degree in tourism and hotel service management. But then finally, since I already knew the language, I already spoke the language, and I had some experience teaching English, and people started telling me how good I was at it, I decided to give education a shot. I decided to to get a bachelor degree or a degree in teaching. And then I talked to some of my friends who had already started this major here in Unicolombo, and they looked pretty excited about it. They had a lot of expectation with their major, and the best part is teaching is something I really enjoy doing. It's something I feel I'm good at. It's something I enjoy doing. I like seeing people grow with their English and professionally and in their personal life. So this is one of the reasons I decided to study education. This is how I went about studying education. Another thing I did was I started doing some research on the profile of a teacher. The things you can do when you get a degree in teaching, and how far you can go in your career at a professional level, how far you can reach. And I found it pretty interesting, and that's how I made up my mind to study education. What is the best way to prepare for a job interview? I mean, what are some things people should do in order to make an excellent first impression in a job interview? Well, the first thing a person should do, someone who wants to make a really good first impression, is to do some research on the mission and the vision of the company. A lot of people are just applying to jobs because they need the money, and because a lot of people are sending out their resumes and applying to job interviews just because this advertisement shows up in a newspaper or the TV, or someone told them that there was an opening for a position, and they just show up at the meeting, at the job interview, without knowing anything about the company, without knowing the mission and the vision of the company, and how their background, their experience can meet the company's expectation, can be correlated to the company's expectation. So the first thing a person should do is become aware of the mission and the vision of this company, and of course prepare to answer the most basic questions, like what are your weaknesses and your strength, to tell more about himself or herself, something that might not stand out in their resumes. For example, some previous experience that the interviewer might find interesting, something that the person can give to the new company. And of course, you have to have an excellent and amazing resume or curriculum, whatever you want to call it. It's very important to be clear and specific when describing your background experience and your academic experience. And when it comes to dressing up, it's better if you dressed up properly, according to the occasion. Depending on the job, you might want to use a more formal dress or suit, or a less formal dress, but still something that shows your sense of responsibility and punctuality and professionalism, things that the interviewer might find interesting to deciding who is getting the job. So I think that's the best way to prepare for a job interview. What do you think would be an ideal job for you, and why? Well, an ideal job for me, well, not only for me, for anyone, would be one where you can do and make money doing what you enjoy doing. Well, where you can do something you're passionate about, something you enjoy doing, and at the same time a job that allows me to be in contact with people, to get a lot of feedback from people, and also that gives me the opportunity to grow not only at a professional level but also at a personal level. That a job that helps me achieve personal goals, professional goals, and not a kind of job where you just go there and from the starting position you have no opportunity to get any promotion, like what we call a dead-end job, but a job that will give you the opportunity to grow, to continue further into your profession, get a better education, and go beyond your limit. A job that represents a challenge for me, an everyday challenge to be a better person, to be a better professional, to do better whatever I'm doing. That's how I would describe my ideal job. And well, of course, a job that is well paid, where I get well paid for doing whatever I do. Are there any jobs that you really wouldn't want to do? Why not? Well, I wouldn't like to work at a place where I have no contact with people. a place where I am isolated, like working on by myself, not talking to anyone, or maybe those kind of jobs, those kind of dead-end jobs, those jobs where you have no opportunity to grow, to learn, to get feedback. And the reason is, for me it's boring to be at a place where I have no contact with people, because I'm a people person. I enjoy spending time with people, talking to people, learning from people, getting feedback all the time from them. So I'm the kind of person who enjoys this kind of working environment, So for me it would be totally stressing and boring and disappointing to work at a place where I have no opportunity to interact with other people, and even worse, where I have no chance to grow professionally. That would be the kind of job I would never do. What advice would you give to a friend who is going to a job interview? Well, as I said before, something you could do is, find a lot of information about this company first, get yourself illustrated about the company's goal and vision, and then with all this information, find a way to correlate your experience and your academic background with what the company expects from you. That way, you will make a better first impression, and you will have more chances to land in a good job. And of course you have to prepare yourself to answer tricky and tough questions, such as tell me about yourself, what are your weaknesses and strengths. It's better to prepare yourself to answer these questions in advance, so the interviewer knows or gets the feeling that you know what you're doing, you know where you're heading, you know what you want for yourself. So it's better to prepare to answer those tricky and tough questions before the actual job interview. Now, here's the thing. I need to get a part-time job for my next vacation. What would you recommend me to do? Well, what a friend of mine did was very interesting. What he did was he went on one of these online job agencies. Those agencies where you input your personal information, your academic and professional background, and then after a couple of weeks, there was an opening for a position to work as I remember it was as a bellboy at a hotel, because my friend was working in the tourist industry. So the funny thing was he ended up working here. They called him up to ask him to go over to a job interview. He did, and he did really well on the job interview, and he got the job. So that would be something your friend can do. Go on these online job agencies, send in your resume, and then whenever they have the chance or the opportunity to offer you a new job, they will do it. And you can still go on the newspaper and read it every once in a while. So if just in case you get an opportunity to get a job there, that would be also an interesting way and a very common way to look for a new job. Another thing is, I have a friend who recently finished high school and doesn't know what to do with his life. Any suggestions for him? Well, the same thing happens to a lot of people. It happened to me, it probably happened to you. We finish high school and we don't really know what to do with our life. But something your friend could do is spend couple of months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, why not? Because usually when you graduate from high school, you are too young, you don't know what to do with your life. So it's better to start thinking and considering what you are good at, what you enjoy doing, and maybe take some English course in advance, because most companies nowadays demands from the employee to learn or speak a second language. So it's best to spend 6 months or a year learning a second language, so when you apply when you decide what career to start or to choose, then at least you have foundations in English, and then you will spend less time, studying your major and going to English classes. And then after 6 months or 1 year, then you are a little bit more mature, more aware of your needs and your likes, what you like doing, what you like to do in your life. So, and then you can start doing some research about what's going on in the job industry, what careers are more profitable and more convenient to make money, which one takes more time, less time to finish, which one demands more diplomas, more degrees, in which careers you have more opportunities to grow professionally, or spend more time with the family, or get more vacations. Those are some things that you have to take into consideration when you finish high school, and then you want to go on to choose a career. Though you have to take into consideration all these details when making your final decision. Alright, now let's talk about plans for the future. How you see yourself, how you perceive yourself in the future, 10 years, 5 years from now. How you see yourself. What do you think your life will be like 10 years from now? Well, 10 years is a lot of time. I think in 10 years I'll have already finished my major in teaching, in English teaching. I'll have gotten my major in teaching. I'll have probably even gotten my master degree, because when I finish my major, I want to move on to get my master degree in teaching. I'll definitely be working full-time as an English teacher, no doubt. I probably won't be living in the same neighborhood, because I'm already planning on moving out, so I might not be living in the same place. I'll have gotten married by then, and I'll probably have gotten my second child, hopefully by then. So I think my life will be pretty different 10 years from now. Will you still be taking English classes in 10 years? I mean, will you be studying English in 10 years? Well, not the way I'm doing now, because these days I'm taking regular classes, attending classes here at Colombo, having a regular teacher. But in 10 years, I'll have become an independent user of the language. I'll be a more proficient user of the language. So I will definitely be studying, learning, improving the language and everything, but not like I don't see myself in 10 years still studying at a language school, but rather learning on my own, improving my pronunciation, improving my reading comprehension, being a more proficient English speaker. But I definitely won't be studying English in a language school or something like that. I'll be still learning though, but not the way I am right now, like studying in a language school or anything like that. Where do you think you will be living in 10 years? Where will you be living? Well, as I said before, I'm already planning on moving out, so I'll probably be living in El Campestre. I love the place. It's very quiet. It's a very convenient place to live. But definitely I won't be living in the same neighborhood where I am right now. It's too noisy and dangerous. I don't really want my children to grow up in that neighborhood. So I definitely won't be living here. No matter what, I'll do my best to in 10 years be living in a different neighborhood. Could be in El Campestre or Los Caracoles or something like that, but I'll definitely be living in a different place by then. Okay, now achievement. What do you think you will have done when you are 50? Oof, that's a lot of time, man. Well, when I turn 50 years, well, I think I will have gotten married by then, of course. I'll have had all of my children, maybe 2 or 3. I'll still be working, because 50 is still young enough for you to be working. So I'll be working definitely. I don't know. I'll be living in my own place. Hopefully, I will have paid off my debt with the bank. So that's something I wish to achieve when I turn 50. I will have gotten my master's degree in teaching, and also a specialization in English teaching. And I think I will have traveled around all Colombia by the time I turn 50. I will have traveled to most, if not all, of the cities here in Colombia. That's something I wish for, to travel all around Colombia. And well, that's pretty much it.